Is it real? See the unbelievable footage and decide for yourself. Alien Autopsy, fact or fiction, Monday on Fox.
Did a UFO crash here in 1947? Did the government cover up the discovery of alien bodies in the wreckage? You decide. When Fox presents what may be the most astonishing footage ever. Join me for Alien Autopsy, fact or fiction, on Fox, Monday night. Alien Autopsy, fact or fiction, on Fox.
About alien sighting, you're going to be one of the first to see it.
And it's T-minus 1 day for X-Files fans across the Southland. We'll tell you why.
Into warrant its own convention these days. Now the X-Files is getting into the act. Tomorrow's official X-Files convention is sure to draw fans of the hit Fox television series in Pasadena. Organizers say the gathering will feature guest speakers, props from the show, and an emporium of X-Files merchandise. X-Files creator and producer Chris Carter will be on hand to take questions from fans, as well as the actors who have all appeared in the popular show. Now the convention starts at 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium. Be there early, promises to be a big one. Also coming up just a few minutes, the most talked about video that we have seen around here for a long time, whether or not there really was an alien autopsy. We're going to have a full report coming up, but first, here's Rick Garcia.
Okay, Bob, Ideo Noma was...
Mexico is taking another bizarre twist. On Monday, Fox 11 airs a program called Alien Autopsy, Fact or Fiction. It reveals what some claim to be real photographs of an alien that reportedly crashed onto a U.S. Army air base. Earthman David Garcia takes a closer look.
Is this the head of an alien or merely the face of an elaborate hoax? It's from a never-before-seen film of what some claim is an autopsy of a visitor from outer space. The existence of the footage has long been rumored among UFO buffs.
About February, it resurfaced in a major way.
Bob Kiviat is producing a Fox special that investigates whether the autopsy film is the real thing.
It could be, and I say could be, authentic.
It's the most famous UFO incident in U.S. history, the alleged crash of a flying saucer here in the desert outside Roswell, New Mexico in July 1947, and the discovery of several tiny humanoid beings killed or wounded in the spacecraft. The Air Force has long claimed it was only a weather balloon, but dozens of eyewitnesses and their descendants charge the government with a cover-up.
They're lying to us.
Frankie Rowe was a young girl when her father, a Roswell firefighter, came home from the crash site with an amazing story.
The first thing that he said that they saw was the flying saucer that was crashed into kind of the side of a gully. And he said there was a little person that was walking around outside.
The producers of the special have shown Frankie Rowe the film of the alleged autopsy.
I think it's quite possible that it is an authentic film.
Compared what you saw in the film to the description your father gave to you?
There were parts that I think probably were pretty close. The lack of hair, the shape of the eyes.
I was hoping that when this film came out, it would be something that would be real concrete.
Today, Walter Haut runs the very popular UFO Museum in Roswell. It features a life-size replica of the alleged autopsy. Back in 1947, Haut was the base public information officer. He wrote the first press release describing the saucer crash.
Some of the action scenes left me extremely repulsed.
What do you mean repulsed? Repulsed from what?
The actions of the so-called surgeons, what they were doing, things like taking things out and holding them up and taking another one and hold it up. Here's a very morbid subject, but it being handled in by Laurel and Hardy.
According to witnesses, the remains of the UFO and its alien crew were first brought here to Hangar 84 on the Army Air Base. And it was here that the producers of the Fox special brought researcher Kevin Randall, author of The Truth About the UFO Crash at Roswell.
If this is fact proven to be a hoax, what happens is everybody writes off the Roswell case.
The premise that maybe we're not alone has always intrigued people. And the thing I try to do is to give people a journalistic base by which to judge this so they can judge it for themselves.
The old base infirmary where the autopsy supposedly was performed. Tattered, torn, overgrown, very much like the memories of the people who were here in 1947. This old building will never give up its secrets, and the few who remain will never convince the world of what they say happened in this place. In Roswell, New Mexico, I'm David Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Fascinating,
It's
huh?
interesting, that's for sure.
Aliens, the UFO Underground says these are the photos the government hoped you would never see. The story next on Action News at 5. Objects up in the sky like UFOs are mentioned. Many of us say, nah, it can't be. Photographs of flying saucers or aliens are difficult to authenticate, but Action News has gathered some rarely seen pictures that could prove an alien landing in the desert of Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. You decide for yourself.
There was a crash in July of 1947. Initially, the Army Air Force released a story saying that they had recovered a flying saucer. The following day, the Pentagon said, whoa, we're going to have a cover-up, and they did.
These are the facts. It made headlines in July of 1947 when the Air Force announced a flying saucer traveling at hundreds of miles an hour had crashed on the New Mexico desert. But the following day, the Air Force said it never happened. But many of the people in Roswell disagreed, saying what crashed looked something like this, and that it must have come from another planet. Also, several eyewitnesses said there were strange little people on board, like nothing they had ever seen, and that one of them actually walked away from the crash. Not so, says the Air Force, but still others disagree. In fact, they say an autopsy was performed on at least one of the aliens, an autopsy described by sources as terrifying, even gruesome. Look closely at the face and head. Does this look human to you? Now, the Fox network has acquired these pictures of the autopsy in a film supposedly taken back in 1947 by an Army photographer. We get a close-up look today at the UFO Museum in Venice. Does the curator believe they're the real McCoy?
I'd say it's 50-50.
There's more disputable evidence. The people in Roswell said the aliens had 4 fingers. The aliens in these pictures have 6 fingers, if they indeed are aliens. Film producer Paul Davids, who made the movie Roswell, is not quite a true believer yet.
If you can prove that this film is almost half a century old, you have an enormous mystery that can't be answered by the contemporary techniques of Hollywood.
Well, evidently somebody buys the story. In fact, Fox Television reportedly paid at least $250,000 for the use of some of those photographs for an upcoming special. But to date, our government still refuses to confirm or comment on what may be the best information yet that other life forms exist here in the universe.
Of aliens from another planet captured near Roswell, New Mexico. Well, they've shown up on the internet, no less. These are the images supposedly from original autopsy films the Air Force kept secret for 50 years, believe it or not, recently bought by a London businessman who says he bought the pictures from a U.S. serviceman who shot the film. Internet users, well, they're skeptical.
Could be, but it could also be something else. I mean, it's not so far from human that it couldn't be something else.
The BBC says it will air the original autopsy films next month. There.
You be the judge.
Yes.
A congressman said today that key military documents on the Roswell incident were destroyed without authorization 40 years ago. UFO aficionados claim the 1947 incident was a crash landing by an alien spaceship. New Mexico Representative Steve Schiff said important documents are missing, and the military can't explain why they've disappeared. The Pentagon claims an experimental surveillance balloon crashed, but UFO enthusiasts say the military is involved in a cover-up.
15-minute film shows what many people believe is the autopsy of an alien captured after they say a UFO crashed near Roswell, New Mexico back in 1947. The government has always maintained that the crash was a failed Air Force experiment and the film was a fake. Well, Representative Steve Schiff has called for the release of the film to determine its authenticity.
Are not alone.
If these films are valid, then we have a very terrible situation going on.
From the hotbed of UFO activity, we investigate, you decide. the alien file. Plus, the high claim to have incontrovertible photographic proof.
Oh, what is that? Hey, that's a UFO.
These are the newest pictures to come out of Roswell, New Mexico, the undisputed UFO capital of the world.
We have the proof that people have wanted to see, that there are UFOs out there.
They are images that have been boggling the experts since early 1994, when mysterious objects began appearing in the crystal clear skies over the New Mexican desert.
Most of the objects come directly overhead. They can come from any direction.
Now, a group out of London is claiming to have actual film footage of an alien autopsy conducted by the U.S. government in 1947. UFO researcher John Spencer has seen this footage.
The object that's being autopsied is very clearly the classical type of alien, give or take a few features. And obviously the question there is it genuine or not?
Owners of the footage claim that it came from a flying saucer crash nearly half a century ago. Witnesses say they saw the wreckage on a rural ranch 60 miles outside of Roswell. And even more intriguing, witnesses say that the U.S. Army recovered dead aliens.
Roswell in 1947 underwent some type of event that to this day has not been satisfactorily answered.
Get the reporters.
And this event is an incident so famous that Showtime has even made it into a movie called Roswell.
Sir, this is a weather balloon.
To this day, the government insists that the whole incident was just a crashed weather balloon. But what are the implications of this alleged alien autopsy footage?
If these films are valid, then we have a very terrible situation going on. That is, for over 50 years, even members of Congress have not been informed the truth.
Few have actually seen the footage. The images are being kept under tight lock and key. But according to reports, the supposed aliens have 12 fingers and toes, swollen legs, and a large head with big eyes covered by black membranes. U.S. Congressman Steve Schiff has seen the 15-minute film clip and wants some answers.
I would describe it as smaller than a human being, but human in general appearance. In other words, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head and so forth. My recollection, it was hairless.
And many of those answers may lie on the computer internet. It is here that Hard Copy uncovered what is said to be a letter from Kodak Film outlining their analysis of the footage. According to the letter, serial numbers found on the film target its manufacturing date in either 1927, 1947, or 1967. Another letter appears from a pathologist who has seen the autopsy footage. He says that some anatomical features may be of non-human origin.
This right here may be the, dare I say, bomb that blew the door open.
And now the world can only watch and wait until the alien autopsy film is formally released in late August. If it is what many UFO experts are claiming it is, it could be the first concrete proof that alien life forms were discovered in Roswell 48 years ago. Until then, though, many UFO experts will doubt its legitimacy.
Had it been set up as a scam, it actually couldn't have been done much better, and that must give me cause for concern.
We wish we could show you the pictures. We've seen some, but the owners will not release the rights to show them to the media. We will follow the story and bring you a report when the pictures are released.